Since you guys liked my last video on James Charles, I wanted to talk about him some more and talk about how his career has exploded since Bye Sister and how affiliating with TikTok stars has been affecting his career and image for the good and bad. I'm Mackenzie, you're watching InformOverload, and let's get into the tea. So as we all know, Bye Sister took place in May of 2019. And after an event like that, it's only normal that he would take some time off social media. James uploaded his first video back in June of 2019 called Hi Sisters, where he did a classic makeup look with his palette while talking to fans. And after that point, he started uploading regularly once again, just trying to get back to normalcy after the scandal. And in the time after, he not only had some insane collabs, making videos with Kesha and other beauty YouTubers that stood by him during the scandal, but he also started to diversify his content. And I think I can pretty confidently say that he was the first mainstream YouTuber to highlight TikTok as the next big thing, with him doing his first video surrounding TikTok called Reacting to and Recreating Viral TikTok Makeup Trends in October of 2019, way before TikTok was even on my radar. And it seems that James's adaptability and his instincts on apps like this are what has gotten him so far, because shortly after he started making YouTube videos about TikTok and started prioritizing making content for his own TikTok is when he really started to grow again. And on March 20th of 2020, James did a massive collab with Charli D'Amelio, which raked him in 34 million views. And it's one of his best performing videos of the year. So obviously this collab was very beneficial for both parties. Around this time is also when James started affiliating himself with TikTokers and seemed to be hanging around the Hype House and Sway House way more than YouTubers. And after the success of his Charli collab, he collabed with Addison Rae, the Lopez brothers, La Rae, the Sway House, and the D'Amelio sisters. And he obviously knows exactly what he's doing, because at that time, almost all of those videos were on YouTube's trending page, and they were getting him tens of millions of views each time. This YouTube success then got him collabs with massive mainstream celebs like Doja Cat, Lil Nas X, Madison Beer, and JoJo Siwa. And I know you guys might debate the JoJo Siwa, but seriously guys, she is massive. And it really seems that in the last 8 months or so, James's career has exploded, and he is once again migrating into traditional media and back to where he was before Bye Sister. One massive accomplishment for James was when he scored the cover of Vogue Portugal. And seriously, getting a Vogue cover is one of the hardest things to do, with American Vogue of course being the most prestigious. And it's such a huge feat that most mainstream celebrities don't even have a Vogue cover. And he also partnered with YouTube for his beauty competition show Instant Influencer that ended up breaking records, with the second episode being YouTube's second largest premiere ever, which is a massive deal. And at this point, James isn't even hiding the fact that aligning with TikTokers is how he's staying relevant. As his last merch drop, the Classroom Collection, featured only TikTokers. Like every single person in the photo shoot was a TikTok star. And it seems that unless James is with a massive celebrity like Kylie Jenner, he's hanging out with the D'Amelio sisters, Noah Beck, Lil Huddy, and La Rae. At this point, they're like the Sister Squad 2.0. But something that I've been thinking about is if aligning with TikTokers is even a good idea. I think for James it's been massive for his growth and relevancy, but has it been for these other TikTokers? A lot of people are thinking no and think that James is too controversial for TikTokers coming up, but I honestly would have to say that James has been very, very helpful to them too. Because honestly, I didn't care at all about TikTokers until I saw that they were collabing with James. And because of James, they got a huge boost on their YouTube channels when they launched. And now all these TikTokers literally trend on YouTube whenever they post. It's honestly so annoying. Other than La Rae, who's honestly hilarious, I love him. But we also cannot forget that he threw a massive birthday party during COVID either. But let's also not forget how problematic James can be, as he's now involved in 2 of the biggest social media scandals ever. Obviously, he was the main person in Bye Sister, but now he's also involved in the biggest TikTok scandal to date, the Charli losing 1 million followers scandal that just happened. And let's also not forget James was actually a big part of the reason that whole scandal happened. Because after they were talking about it at dinner and Charli mentioned her comment about not hitting 100 million, he was the one who savagely clapped back that she had 95 million, insinuating that she was being greedy. And even though people would have probably canceled her for that regardless, James's comments are truly the thing that started the cancellation. And that's why in the midst of the scandal, when Charlie was losing a record number of followers, James felt he needed to step in, and he tweeted out, quote, "This Charlie situation is not sitting right with me. 100 million followers in 1 year and y'all expect her to know how to be a perfect role model? Death threats because she's a picky eater and made a joke about a milestone? 30-plus-year-olds dragging someone half their age feels familiar." And he obviously wanted the situation to die down, because I'm sure that event did not want to make the D'Amelios ever have dinner with him again. But truly, the whole scandal could have just been avoided if their editors had some better judgment. Like, you could have just cut it out and saved everyone a lot of followers. But now that James did bring that controversy in some ways to the TikTok world, maybe their management might advise them to stay away from James to avoid getting in future scandals. But I think at this point that whole scandal was actually a good thing for the family, so they might actually hang out with him more than ever now, who really knows. Addison is hanging out with the Kardashians a lot, so they could be going down that route. As for the future of James, it seems that he is finally back to where he was before by Sister, which is a good and bad thing. It's good because he's on top of the YouTube game once again, and his career is reaching all new heights. But the bad is that James might be getting a little too comfortable, because recently he seems to be getting into scandal after scandal, and he's not being as careful with his words as he was after, by Sister. And if he keeps going down this road, I hate to say it, but another huge scandal might not be too far away. But a lot of this video is just my opinion, so if you have another one, please share it down below. But before I head out of here, I'm going to shout out a few of your comments from part 1 of this little series. Who knows if there will be a part 3. Let me know below if you want that. Ellie said, "They all hate each other for petty reasons. It's like Mean Girls Influencer Edition." I mean, a section of the beauty guru space is just so toxic, it blows my absolute mind. But we stay standing, unproblematic queens like Nikki Tutorials and all those other people that have just chilled and do makeup and look beautiful. Then Sandra said, "What about all the times he's been called out for stealing other people's makeup looks?" I have not heard of this. Is this a thing that happens? I mean, could be in part 3, stay tuned. Then Isby said, "I never realized he was in so much drama." Honestly, same. I kind of forgot, but By Sister was not, obviously it was a massive, massive scandal, but he had been in some big, big scandals before that, so he was well known for being very, very controversial even before By Sister. Alright everyone, that is all for that video today. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more and maybe see a part 3 again. Let me know that below. I've been your host, Mackenzie Smith, and I will see you all in the next one.